We now hear from our correspondents, and on this segment of the show, we speak with our correspondents about issues happening within the regions. This week, we've been looking at the water situation in parts of the country, in the northeast region, where 5 people have died as a result of the drinking from unwholesome water sources. We understand some are in critical condition, and the Ghana Health Service has directed that the people stop drinking from that source. The question is, what alternatives are there for the people? Let's connect now with our reporter on the ground, Ilyasu Tanko. Ilyasu, do tell, what has become of the water situation? Any remedies so far?
The fact that there have been several visits to the community by officials of the Ghana Health Service. They have been going to the community to meet with the residents to try and convince them to stop drinking from this unwholesome water source. And they have also been promised by the service to provide boreholes for this particular community. Essentially, the community are saying that the only way for them to stop drinking from this unwholesome source is for them to provide more boreholes or water source, decent water source for them. Because this community has a population of over 1,000, and they are depending on 2 boreholes. One is 40, and so according to the woman, when we went to the community, they have had to, go rely on this particular stream water to avoid long queues and also grudges before getting this particular borehole water. And so they are saying that the only way for them to stop drinking from this particular wholesome source is for the service to provide them with more water sources in their community. And also, we're also learning that this particular disease has been confirmed to be typhoid. The Ghana Health Service confirmed it. As we are learning, they are also following up at the hospital where these people were treated to get more information on this particular situation. And yesterday, the Community Water and Sanitation Agency was also in the community. And what I'm learning right now is that they are testing this particular water and also the water from the 2 boreholes in this particular community, for them to make sure how to deal with this particular situation. So far, that is what has been happening at the Bumbuazuo community.
Right. Ilyasu, do hold, because I would like to find out when I return to you just how critical the situation is of those 5 people who are ill. But we're glad to be joined on the phone line by Gustav Osiakwan, who is the regional coordinator of the Community and Sanitation Agency. Now, let's get some answers. Why did we look on for lives to be lost? I mean, we've got to the point where some are in critical situations and some have even lost their lives. Why did we have to wait till we got to this point? Can you hear me, sir? Okay, so it appears we're having a bit of a technical issue connecting with him. And as and when we do get him, we shall, get him answer that question. But I'll move over to Ilyasu Tanko once more. So I was trying to find out those who are in a critical situation, just where do they find themselves currently and how bad is their situation? Can you share?
Well, most of them have undergone surgery, multiple surgeries, I must say, and some of them are currently at home recuperating. And so the others we understand are having intestinal infections. And we went to the community, we spoke to a couple of them. And so as I speak to you now, they are currently at home. According to the service, when the Ghana Health Service, when they went to the Nalerigo Baptist Medical Center where these people were sent, they discovered that 7 people, they found a record of 7 people who were sent to that particular facility. And according to them, these people are currently having typhoid fever. So as I speak to you right now, those who are treated and discharged are currently at the Bumbuazu community.
Right. Thank you very much, Eliasu, for sharing those details. Let's now interact with Mr. Siakwan, who is the regional coordinator of the Community and Sanitation Agency. And the question I posed to you earlier was simply this. Why did we look on to the point where lives had to be lost in this situation? Well, it appears we're still struggling to get Mr. Siakwan on the line. We will interact with him later on this specific beat. You would recall that we've been bringing you stories, especially in the northern belt of the country, where indeed we've had acute water shortages, forcing people to use water sources that are not potable. But we continue our water discussion, but this time we move over to the Savannah region, where the police is complaining of drinking from unwholesome sources. And they say a number of theirs have been diagnosed with typhoid fever. Let's listen to Chief Superintendent Ajekum Owusu, who is police PRO in the Savannah region, expressing concerns about the effect of typhoid.
Typhoid?
Yes. In fact, it's a serious matter within Damango. We, the police, I mean the regional headquarters alone, 8 of us, including myself, were infected with this typhoid, which we all went to the municipal hospital for treatment. So, and it all boils down to the kind of water we have been using. So since then, I've resulted in drinking either special ice, vortex, belapa, and those stuffs. As for sachet water, you dare know.
Meaning this sachet water is equally gotten from Damago, and how it is packaged, you are not sure. I mean the sachet water.
The sachet water, we say, maybe because of how they treat it. Some parts in the country, the sachet waters are treated very well. So when you drink it, no problem. But when you even taste the Damango sachet water, you could see the difference with the other ones which are coming from other parts of the country. So I think the way maybe they treat the water is not good.
If the water is not even good, how do you treat it? Yeah, that could be the reason.
That one is another factor. To get a clean water is also a problem.
Well, let's connect now with Isaac Nonya, who is monitoring the situation there. He's our correspondent. Now, Isaac, you have followed the situation. Just how bad is it to the point where even police officers are complaining? Paint a picture for us.
Yes, just as the police PRO put it is a general concern among people who have been posted here to work. You know, they're seeing the situation as a first thing in their lives, because having experienced this before, they feel that a better way of provision of water should have been there for the workers who have come to be able to access. Even the source of accessing water here is a problem. Many of them have to import water from Tambale. And you heard the police commander, PRO, saying that getting bottled water even here in Savannah region is a problem. So in all, the water delivery system here needs to be improved. If not, many people who are yet to come here or based on posting will be afraid, because if workers who have just come, this officer is less than 2 years, many others who have also come are also less than 2 years. But there were those among the infected ones. Let me also add that the concern is general. We are told that, according to the police PRO, while on our mission, he realized that 2 other medical doctors from the same health facility were also infected by typhoid. And also 3 others at the regional coordinating council were also attacked by typhoid. Even among the general public, they are also spread. It's general, just that others resort to local treatment instead of going to the hospital. So, and when you look at the situation on the ground, opidification is very rampant. The municipality over the past 2-3 years has been on the table, low on the table. The score very low, being second by last on the table. And it also is significant that landlords not being able to put up household latrines is the cause of the open defecation. And once you have two water body sources and with couple open defecation, you know that automatically the water that is being drawn from these two dams will be unwholesome. It doesn't matter how one treats it, but when it runs from the forests and farms and from households into the two dams, definitely people will be affected. So that is the concern that the police theory was raising. And this is also a general concern among many residents, both indigenous and those who have just come here to work. So the water situation here is general. Now also, the regional minister, who was the immediate past MC of the area, also have problem with the concern raised by the police bureau. It thinks that the water situation is general in the country. It doesn't matter where you get it, but you can't attribute it to the typhoid. Maybe food, bad food or dirty food eating elsewhere could also cause typhoid, and not just the water situation in Damago.
Okay, I know you've also been engaging the regional minister. This is actually what he had to share.
That I beg to differ with that assertion that they have gotten typhoid as a result of water, unwholesome water. I can't believe it, because I, as the municipal chief executive at that time, constructed a borehole, mechanized it for the police. And even the old toilet system that they were having, you know, the old barracks have this bucket latrines. I converted the bucket latrines into water closets. And so, alluding their typhoid infection to unwholesome water, I don't want to believe it. Maybe the water is not the only source that you can get from typhoid. They could have gone to eat some food that can give them the typhoid.
He alluded to.
So for the fact that, so I, as a research chairperson, or as a citizen of Damango, or the political head of the Savannah region, doesn't give food to people. So if you go to eat your food that is not good and you get typhoid, you cannot blame the regional minister. For me, I think that what I have to do as a regional minister is to make sure that we give them what they need.
The borehole you spoke about.
Sure.
When are we talking about? When were they put in place? And when was the last time you...
The borehole, I put it last year.
Last year.
And I mechanized it into a 5,000 liter, 5,000 liter poly tanks. So it means it has a storage capacity of 10,000 liters. So the last time I visited the police barracks to make sure that the borehole is working, I was taken around by the officer in charge, the inspector of the station, and he told me that it was working. So I don't want to believe the contraction of the typhoid is as a result of dirty water.
All right, look at it this way.
Sure.
Some people don't eat food outside. They don't buy food outside. And we are told there is being rumored that 2 doctors for the municipal hospital and 2 other people from your outfit here also contracted typhoid. What about that one too?
So are you telling me that people in Accra who are drinking water from Ghana Water Company Limited don't catch typhoid? It could be their way of, it could be their lifestyle.
That's not right. The peculiar case in Damango is what we are looking at.
So let me just be honest with you. At that level of education, you are talking about people within the Regional Coordinating Council. Why would they go and be drinking water that is contaminated when there's borehole water? Even my office here, we are served with borehole water. And so, for me as the regional minister, workers in this office have access to borehole water. And so, borehole water is got from below the water table.
Well, interesting dynamics there being shared by the Savannah Regional Minister. But Isaac, before you let go of us, I know that there's at least one other pressing issue in the community. Residents are agitating about another issue. Do tell us about what exactly their concern is.
The rampant accident these days in the municipality. You know, the attitude of the culture here is that when there's an accident, they need an amicable solution to get it out of the place. So the accident vehicle and then the victims are quickly moved to a side that they will have convenience in able to solve it. And this is a case that the police have taken against. The police think that there needs to be an investigation into the said accident and to find out so that they can get records of the brutalities of the rate of accident in the region and the municipality, or to get people who are culpable to face the law. But this is the case, when it happens, it is not so. So following that, one suspect, one victim who passed on yesterday, a female accident victim, is currently in the morgue because the police think that once the accident happened and they moved the truck away, the patient was sent to the hospital only for them to know that the woman has died. So the only way to get the suspect is to detain the cops and let the doctor conduct the postmortem on it, and for the relation to trace to bring the person who was riding the motorbike.
Right.
And I think that has been achieved. As we speak, the suspect in police custody and the body has been released to the family, the deceased family, to go and bury it.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for the update, Isaac Nyona, our reporter there from the Savannah region. We head now to the northern region. Now, imagine going to school for 3 years without a teacher to help guide you with your learning because the Ghana Education Service had not posted a teacher to your school. That is the current state of the Chichigu LA Primary School in the Salaga North District of the Savannah region. Children in the community have had to learn how to read and write on their own, or sometimes get tuition from Abu Safianu, a senior high school graduate, as and when he is available.
The idea of going to school and coming back without a teacher to offer tuition is demoralizing enough to let most people give up their dreams of getting education. It is even more disheartening when your seniors who graduated from your school ended their education only at the junior high school level. But the new crop of pupils at the Chichigu LA Primary School have big dreams buried in that small community. Meet little Wahid Musa. He is in class 3. He reads and writes very well, even though for the past 3 years he has not had a teacher. I put him to a test to read a book I offered him.
And healthy. It was time for sports. The day was sunny. The teacher said, "Let us run to the field and play." Then he spoke to the class. "Some of you may not eat in the morning."
Let's get more on that. Martina Bugri joins me with more. So what further details can you share in that respect, Martina? Give us the latest.
Now, it's still the same thing. They don't have a teacher. It's just Abu Safiano who would come from the farm sometimes and help them. And so for now, what I'm told is that the Ghana Education Service at the local level is unable to employ a teacher to the school. It has to come from the national level, and that has not happened yet. And so it means that from now until they get a teacher, they would have to study on their own as they are doing now.
So they are studying on their own. What are they exposed to? I mean, I could see looking at them, they are exposed to the elements. It's no proper structure under which they find themselves and all of that. What is the reality of what they have to cope with just to be able to get some learning experience? What do they have to deal with on a daily basis?
On a daily basis, they would have to go through this harsh weather. You know, it's a rainy season. It's just begun in the north here, and they would have to sit in this class that's almost it's so dilapidated. You have cracks all over. The roof is not well, and when it rains, it sticks into the office, the classrooms. But they have to sit under the shed or sometimes in that small classroom that they have. They don't have furniture. They have just 3, 2, and sometimes even just 1 in each of the classrooms. And so there's no furniture, there's no proper structure, neither do they have any teacher to offer them tuition. But the amazing thing is that these little boys are so determined to go to school. They learn. You go, and when I got into the school, they were all learning. So I asked one kid how he's able to maintain this, how he's able to sustain learning. He says that he spends almost all his time studying because he wants to become a doctor. And the condition under which he's studying is not going to deter him. He says he would have loved to go to Boom Primary School, which is about 3 kilometers from his neighborhood. But because he has to go through a forest, and for his age, going through that forest to that next community is not too safe. And that is why he has to still maintain staying in his school. And he's hoping that at least the Ghana Education Service will bring somebody who has knowledge, a background on teaching to help them, because they believe that if they are able to get good tuition, they can go places.
Before we get to another very interesting story, I just want you to quickly tell us, has the District Directorate of Education, have they been contacted? How have they been responding to this, the plight of the children in this community?
I spoke to the director, and she says that she's just been transferred to the area. She hasn't got so much information on the school, and so she will get back to me. But I got a call from somebody from the same district this morning to tell me that at the local level, they don't have the power to employ. It has to come to the national, it has to come from the national level. And so once it has to come to the national level, they have no power to do that. So they will just wait. When somebody is posted to the area, then they can, you can repost and you can either post. And so all they would have to do is just wait till somebody is posted to that particular school, then the school can have a teacher.
Well, both curious and pathetic. But thank you very much, Martina Bugri, for bringing us the details of that all the way from the northern region. Now, this week, we also brought you the sad story of a final year JHS student who allegedly committed suicide. Precious Semevo is our correspondent from the Bono region, and he joins us with some updates. Now, Precious, we know parents of the deceased suspect some foul play. What else has come up in that respect?
If you can hear me, the parents, after their suspicion, and as we understand the case, was moved from the Divisional Police Command to the Regional Police Headquarters. The regional office is supposed to take over the case whilst they wait for the pathologist to come and then perform the autopsy to actually identify what caused the death of the 14-year-old Letitia. But we know, at least from the family today, that they have been at the regional police headquarters and they have written their statement again whilst the investigator continues the process. I also understand that some authorities of the school and then some of the students and other people who also have to get to the police headquarters and then write their statements before the pathologists will be made to perform the exercise and then tell us the actual cause of death. But as we understand from the police, they are ready to explore all avenues. The alleged suicide note, the ratings in her diary, and all that, they will go through the forensic audit to ensure that they get to the bottom of it. If it is her handwriting, they will get to know, and then the outcome of the postmortem will also assist them in their investigation. The family currently appears satisfied with the process at the regional police headquarters, and they are assuring that they will cooperate along the line to ensure that they get justice for their daughter, Letitia.
Okay, Precious, now you've also been following up on that court case involving some police officers who allegedly tortured a suspect leading to his death. What more can you report? What is the latest?
Yeah, so the police, the 3 police officers, the bank manager and his 2 security guards, if we recall, they were charged with, attempting to commit murder, murder, and then murder. They have been attending appearance at the Magistrate B, but along the line, they applied for bail at the Sunyani High Court too. Now, that case was called yesterday, and after lawyers of the 3 police officers, that is General Constable Ebenezer Ekufu, as well as General Corporal Williams Akusiong, and then Chief Inspector Eric Kaforo, who happens to be the station officer in Sepa. And then the bank for Kingsford, as well as the security guards, Aaron Abbey and then Ruben Obin, they also had their lawyers. So they met in court, argued their case against the state prosecutor. But at the end of the judge who sat on the case, his lordship, Gabriel Nenekwa, granted bail to the bank manager, Emmanuel Ofori Kingsford, who is 59. Now, the argument is that he's not well, and indeed, he has been on admission for about 3 weeks now since the incident happened. So the bail was granted him on health grounds to every Wednesday, show himself to the regional CID, as well as submit his passport to the High Court registrar, and also with 2 sureties, and those sureties to prove that they are government workers, and also they will provide their passport pictures and the like. So as it stands now, but the judge gave the prosecutor 2 more weeks to ensure that they complete the investigation. And he says that after the 2 weeks, the court will know whether to grant bail to the remaining 5 accused persons at the Sunyani High Court. So we are running, the prosecutors are running against time. They have 2 weeks to ensure that they complete their investigation before they return to court on the 3rd of June for the judge or for the court to again sit on the case as to whether to grant bail to the remaining 5. But as it stands now, it is only the bank manager whose car was allegedly smashed by the late Abu Bukari on that fateful day that led to his death.
Many thanks to you, Precious Semevo. And we stay with our correspondents as we head now to the central region, where we connect with Richard Kwejonyako. Now, we look at the Galamsey menace in that area. Richard, the regional minister has been touring some sites. What has been found so far? What is the latest discovery?
Also, the regional minister has been touring some areas that are seen as the Galamsey activities. These are areas that the Galamsey activities do go on. And so they went to the Upper Dintra, East Upper Dintra West district, and that is where the River of Fin is. They also went to where the Pra River is. And sadly, where the Ofin River flows from is choked because the Galamsey activities have blocked the pathways of the river. And so she ordered that NADMO should do something about it. And so there was an NGO that they engaged. And so the NGO has been clearing the pathways of the Ofin River to enable the river flow from the Ashanti region. The Ofin River flows from the Ashanti region through to the central region, and then it ends up in the western region. Same goes for the Pra River, where some Galamsey mining sites, they tell us that they don't mine in the river, but where they mine, whatever their processes and their activities are, they end up in the river, and so it pollutes the water. So the turbidity of the Pra and the Ofin River has shot up, and so that has sparked some concern. So the regional minister was saying that if care is not taken and if something is not done about it, very soon Ghana could be importing water. So let's take a listen to the central regional minister.
No minister later, but right now let's hear from NADMO.
We've jammed the main one so that it can flow, because by the time it starts flowing for about 2-3 months, you see that we'll get a clean water, because the people that are doing the galamsey, as we say, they have blocked a lot of the waterway, do the operations. So they need to remove all those blockage so that the river can flow, because everybody knows that this river comes through from Ashanti region, passes through here to other regions. So if we don't open it up, then we can't get the clean water, so that is going to be useful to all of us. So that is what we are coming to do. So anytime with the divisional commander, with the divisional police commander and all the stakeholders in the district, they will support them, then they will make sure that, yes, they do the right thing. Every week we'll come and visit and see how far they are working. So we are appealing to them that when they see anybody who is also coming to do that illegal business, that the galamsey, they just call on the divisional police commander or any of the institution, then they will get them arrested until the time. Hopefully, we'll make sure that the river is flowing well for us.
All right, so how Herculean is this task, to NADMO?
It is something that is dear to our heart, because it is disaster. Imagine that we have a water treatment plant, we cannot even get the river just to get the water treated for us to drink. So it is a disaster. So that is why, as a NADMO, we have to put ourselves in and assessment coming from all these organizations. We just open up for the river to just flow so that it will be useful to all of us. Maybe in about 6 months' time, people living around that has no pipe, tap water can even come here to fetch water to drink. But if you leave it like that, the blockage are still in. There is no way
So, Richard, we've heard from NADMO. Now, I know that the regional minister has been speaking. What exactly has he been sharing?
Well, so she was dumbfounded when she visited the site. She couldn't believe her eyes of what she saw, because where she was even standing, I mean, the kind of destruction that has been caused not only to the river, but to the forest. So now people's farms have been turned into galamsey activities. Look at the huge gullies that have been created. So it will take places like Dunkwalofin and then the other areas a long time for the reclamation to be done, for them to return to the normal situation. But for now, she was very, very sad about the situation.
Well, thank you very much, Richard Kwadonyako. And later on, as and when it's possible, we shall bring you the feed from what exactly the regional minister had to say. But Rafiq Salam is joining us from the Upper West region, where the Ghana Agriculture Road Infrastructure Project was launched. Now, the project aims at constructing roads to aid farmers cart their produce to market centers. Now, Rafiq, post-harvest losses are quite a serious problem. How bad exactly is it? Paint a picture for us.
The people of the Upper West region, and let me put it that way, those living in the hinterlands, most of them are engaged in agriculture. And so majority of the crops that they farm is maize. And so year in, year out, they have produced several tons of the maize, but they are unable to carry these produce from the farms either to their homes or to the market centers. And so it's really been a big problem here in the Upper West region. And so the European Union, in conjunction with the government of Ghana, under the Ghana Agricultural Program, came up with some projects. And these are 3 projects. One has to deal with the market-oriented project to enable the farmers cart this produce to the market side. And the latest one is the productive investment one, where the farmers, where they will rehabilitate roads, or also even construct roads to dam sites, irrigation sites, and also where the farms are, so to enable the farmers to cart this produce from their farms to the market centers. And so just last Tuesday, the World Bank, in conjunction with the European Union, the head office, they came to the Forest region for this project to begin. And so the Minister for Roads and Highways, Kwesi Abankwata MP, he was in the Forest region to cut the sword. The project is about 670.2 kilometers of road that will be constructed in the Upper West region in about over 40 months. And so this is a project that the people of the Upper West region are really happy about is going to take place in 8 of the 11 districts, municipalities in the Upper West region. But the major worry now in the Upper West region is about where these roads are going to be constructed or rehabilitated. Because from the thinking of most of the people, the food basket of the region is in the eastern corridor of the region. Talking about the Sisala West, Sisala East, and also the Wa East. And so the people are not sure that these communities were eliminated from the pay space of this project. And so the people of the Upper West region are really not happy about it. Yes, they welcome the project with open arms, but they are thinking that it would have been better for the people if it was done in the eastern corridor of the region. So it's a good project, and the people are thanking the government and the European Union for coming out with that project. But let me tell you, one other thing that's happening in the Upper West region, who the people are not also happy with, has to deal with our rules in the Upper West region. Remember, some few years ago, the one municipality was given a facelift talking about asphalt roads. But I can tell you that now they are now giving them bituminous surface. And most of the people that we spoke to, the Upper West region, when the minister was here, when the road minister was here, they were not really happy with what was going. They think that they have been so and they demand that the town should be asphalted.
Rafiq, thank you so much. Rafiq Salam reporting from the Upper West region, specifically